Welcome to this week's episode of Like You Didn't Know. This week's scary movie of the week is called The Perfection. It's basically about these two girls that are really good violinists that went to this really prestigious school. And the girls end up becoming friends and lovers too, but mostly friends. And they kind of get to see like inside of what really went on at the school. It's more like a thriller, not really a scary movie, although it does have some graphic areas. Basically the girls end up getting back at the teachers at the school, and you kind of find out why. At first you think that one of the girls is like the bad guy, but then you realize that she's really not. But she does do still some kind of messed up stuff to the other girl. I've watched it a couple of times. It's a really good movie to me. It's got the girl from Shameless, I think is the TV show, the main character. And then it's got this black girl that's been in a lot of other movies, and I can't think of her name either. But I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something that kind of holds your attention and kind of to me, it has a lot of twists and turns, and you don't really know what's going to happen next. But I definitely recommend it. This week's ridiculous lawsuit is a man who is suing an eye drop maker company, basically because, which is stupid, he claims that he only got 20 days worth of product instead of the 30 days advertised on the packaging. I don't really know how. First off, there's no way that he could prove that he only used the recommended amount of drops, which I think is typically 1 to 2. But most of these companies go by the volume of the tube size, and they probably, I assume in the lab or wherever, count, okay, if you use this many, you get this many typically out of it. And they probably average it or something. But I guess he decided he didn't get enough. Pretty sure he lost because, of course, how are you going to prove that you use the recommended amount, and then how are you going to prove that your drop size was the same drop size that they were using, or whatever? To kind of pivot from that, there actually is a eye drop maker that has been shown to be making a product that could lead to blindness in some people, and apparently someone also died. The brand is called Esri Care Artificial Tears. I've never really bought artificial tears, but I know of. I've never seen it anywhere. But if you do have this or have ever used it, you probably should look into seeing if maybe there's like a lawsuit you could sign up for. Maybe you can get some money, or just stop using it, really. The CDC is actually telling people to stop using it because it's put people in the hospital, caused people to lose their vision. I don't know if it's permanent, but either way, losing your vision is pretty bad, whether it lasts for a day, 10 days, or for the rest of your life. And then apparently one person also died. They basically have been causing bacterial infections. And as you can imagine, any type of infection in your eye is definitely extremely serious. This week's bizarre way to die is people stepping backwards off a cliff or some similar like high up thing to help somebody that's photographing them get them in frame. I'm pretty sure we've all seen people do this. We've probably done it. I know I have, where someone's taking your picture and you kind of step back to help them get you or whatever in the background you're trying to get in the picture. I usually try to look because I hate when people do this and I'm standing right behind them. So I always kind of glance behind me just to make sure that no one's back there, or that I don't step on anybody or run into anything. But obviously, especially these days where everybody has their cell phone and is in a immediate type world. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but where everybody wants immediate satisfaction. People are quick to just step back. Don't even look, don't turn around, don't check your surroundings. They just step back. So apparently people, which is not surprising, some people have died from doing this. I know when I went to the Grand Canyon a couple years ago, I was amazed and shocked by the amount of people that were literally acting like it was not a literal canyon that you could fall off and die. And people have died. I think somebody probably died that week or month that we were there. And they do have fences up around some of it, but those fences look very, weak. Like if you leaned against them, you and the fence would go tumbling down. But I saw people like sitting on the edge with their baby, dangling their feet, letting their baby run around and chasing after them like they were in a supermarket or a building or something, not in a canyon where he could just run off into oblivion. It was just crazy. And it's funny because I saw this other black man and he had his two little girls. I think they were little girls, 2 kids with him. And when I tell you, this man was holding onto them tight, and I looked at him and he looked at me and I was like, dude, I understand, because everybody else is acting like you cannot die here. Like, just because you're a tourist and you're going on vacation to look at a canyon does not mean you can't die. You could die literally from walking outside. Just because you go on a trip does not mean you're like immune to death. People die outside of their houses in foreign cities and countries all the time. But basically, just be aware of your surroundings. If you do want to take a picture, it takes 2 seconds, probably less, to glance behind you and make sure nobody's back there. Or to make sure that you do not step off of something, either into traffic, step on something that could potentially hurt you. I mean, anything. Just use your common sense. I know common sense is not very common, but sometimes we need to take a breath and think. For this week's main topic, apparently scientists are trying to bring the dodo back. If you've never heard of the dodo, it was like a prehistoric bird that was known for being pretty dumb. Apparently they lived on this island, and because they were so dumb and they had no natural predators or anything on the island, so they flourished there. So of course, people did as people tend to do. They went to the island and messed everything up and ended up pretty much, well, they did kill it to the point where it was extinct. I have heard in the past that they were trying to bring the dodo back. I don't know why they want to bring it back. I mean, I don't know if it has any uses, like if we would use its eggs or anything. I feel like they're going to mess around and bring this bird back, and then it's going to cause like car accidents and stuff because it's a dumb bird. And from the pictures, they look like they're decently big birds. But apparently this biotech startup is trying to resurrect the woolly mammoth as well. And then I guess they've just set their sights on trying to resurrect the dodo as well. They've raised $150 million, since 2021. Well, actually they've raised $225 million since 2021, dedicated to this special little project that they have. I didn't even know that they had dodo DNA preserved. I guess it's preserved in this Danish museum. I mean, I had never heard that they had it preserved. I don't know how or who thought, oh yeah, let's preserve this DNA of this dumb bird. But the dodo is apparently the 3rd species that this company is trying to bring back. Again, I don't know why they're trying to bring back dodos or woolly mammoths. I feel like woolly mammoths are definitely not something that we need. We already have elephants and rhinos and stuff. I feel like woolly mammoths would come and probably like destroy the natural habitat for all these other animals. Like, we're already having issues with people killing elephants and stealing their tusks and stuff. So why would you want to bring back something else for them to pretty much kill again? Because of course, if you bring back woolly mammoths, their tusks and probably teeth and hair and toenails probably are going to be like very sought out, because obviously it's been hundreds of thousands of years before these creatures existed. Of course, there are people, and I think I'm one of them, that don't think that this is a great idea. They would rather this company work on conserving the species that we actually have. I mean, we have like tigers and, pretty much probably everything in the ocean that we've discovered anyway, that is endangered. Or, I mean, the coral reefs, everything. Like, let's concentrate on making that last for the next generation versus trying to bring back something that's been extinct for a very long time. Apparently Paris Hilton has contributed to it. Not surprising, because I mean, she's got a lot of money, so what else are you gonna do with it? Why save the hungry and help the homeless when you could try to bring back a bird that's been gone for a very long time and that nobody misses? Apparently this company is also doing artificial wombs and gene editing. Well, no, they're not doing it. They're wanting to do artificial wombs and gene editing, which again is something that I feel like we as people just need to leave alone. Like, I feel like just with all the stuff that's going on these days, especially with COVID, where nobody really knows where that came from, everybody kind of suspects that it was something, and I think the most recognized theory is that it was something that people messed around with in a lab and accidentally released or purposely released. Who knows? But I'm just like, just because you have money does not mean that you should just invest. I mean, it should be illegal to invest in things that are not necessary. Like, the dodo is not necessary. The world is spinning just fine without the dodo. Woolly mammoths are not necessary. Besides, where are they going to go? Because with the way global warming is going, the world is not going to be cold enough, or the parts of the world that they would live in are not going to be cold enough for them to even survive. Like, polar bears are already having issues. Probably Arctic foxes, whatever else lives in the Arctic is probably Antarctic, all of that, anywhere where there's supposed to be ice and snow and all this stuff. And there's not anymore because of global warming, fossil fuels, pretty much human getting involved has caused all this stuff to just not be like it was. So I don't know why they would want to bring back something that's went extinct for a reason. I don't know if woolly mammoths were killed off because of people. I think they just ended up going extinct like a lot of other like really big dangerous creatures back then. I feel like it's just something that you should just leave alone. I feel like we have evolved, and I use that term very loosely, but I feel like we have evolved to move past those type of animals. We don't have room for them. There's nowhere for them to go. There's nothing for them to eat, because what is a woolly mammoth going to eat? If everything is dying off and the ice caps are melting and all this stuff, they're not going to have anywhere to live anyway. And I don't know what type of habitat the island that the dodos were on had on it, but I mean, most of those plants are probably not even around anymore. I mean, hell, they might resurrect him, or whatever word you want to use, and he ends up eating something and dying, because I mean, they may not even have poison ivy back then. He messed around, eat some poison ivy, and then that's the end of him. Like, I just feel like rich people just need to be rich and mind their own business. Like, if you're not going to help the world as it is right now, then just sit down and shut up and mind your business. Because I think about all the commercials where they're asking, all the little sad commercials where they're asking you to give money to like the lions and tigers and bears that are going extinct. Nothing that is going extinct because of us specifically. It's the people that live in those countries that are killing these creatures, and probably selling to these same rich people. But they expect us, who are living from paycheck to paycheck or barely making ends meet, to send money to this company that supposedly is going to help the polar bears or even the children. Like, you don't know if this money is going to them. Like, I think of the commercials with the starving children in Africa and stuff. All these rich people, and Paris Hilton, instead of giving your money to a biotech company to resurrect the dodo, why don't you just go get all these kids out of poverty? I'm pretty sure kids and families, adults, everything. I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift, Beyonce, all of them could probably throw hundreds of thousands of dollars. Especially like Jeff Bezos, he could probably throw millions and not even miss it. And literally all of them could be saved from poverty. But it's like they want us to do something about it when we're struggling as it is. Like, I feel like it's pretty ridiculous. In all honesty, it's stupid and it doesn't make sense. And if I could reach out to them and just shake them and be like, how about you, if you're not going to help them, don't expect me to, because I can't. Like, I can't afford to do it. But I mean, it's just, I don't understand. Like, I feel like people get fixated on things and they just kind of want, like, I mean, if they do bring the dodo back and it comes out that Taylor Swift invested in the company, then she's probably going to give him more money because she helped to bring this animal that we don't even really need back to the world. Like, it's just, I feel like a lot of stuff is for clout. A lot of stuff is just to say, oh yeah, I did this. It's not really, I mean, honestly, I feel like they live in their own little world. They probably don't care. Like, all these people that are gung-ho about Beyonce, she does not care about none of y'all. She don't even know your name. You follow her and comment on everything and send little bees to everybody. She don't know. You are nobody to her. Like, she is so far beyond our scope that we are like probably ants. You're literally like bees to her. Like, she could probably step on one of y'all and probably wouldn't even notice it. Like, it's just crazy that people get so enthralled with these celebrities to the point where they will buy her ugly ass clothes, her perfume, whatever, just to say that they supported Beyonce. Like, there are other black owned companies with people that actually care about their customers. And like, I mean, some of the brands that I shop, like Hoop Mob and different places, like, they actually, I could literally reach out to the owner of that company and have a conversation with her if I wanted to. Can you do that with Beyonce? Hell no. You can email her probably for the rest of your life and she will never respond. The only way you might ever get on her radar is if you are a dying kid with cancer and your last wish is to meet Beyonce or something like that. But in reality, you're never going to meet these celebrities that people are so enthralled over. And I just feel like we need to, just as humans, because essentially they are people first. They may have talents that the majority of people don't have. But even then, I feel like a lot of people are a lot more talented singers than Beyonce or Adele or whatever famous person you want to choose. There are a lot of unknown people that are just as talented, if not more talented, that nobody knows about. But I feel like these celebrities just should, and I know some of them do, give back to like other organizations and stuff. And I know you hear about a lot of the rappers they build schools in their city that they're from and different stuff like that. But honestly, I feel like they could do more. Like, don't look to us where we are literally working on a job that pays our bills. We may get to go on a trip once or twice a year, maybe go out sometimes and have a drink or two, but majority of our money goes to bills. Like, we don't just have extra money sitting around to throw to a biotech company to make extinct animals come back to life. Like, it's mind-boggling how people can be so oblivious to everything that's going on in the world. Like, and then not only be oblivious, but then expect other people to do things that you could easily do, and it wouldn't hurt you. Like, it would not hurt them to do any of this. Taylor Swift is not thinking about that money. She probably didn't even know how much it was. She probably had one of her employees send the check and mark it off. Like, she's not caring about that. Like, majority of these celebrity endorsements and all this stuff, they probably don't even miss that money. It'd be like you dropping a penny on the ground. You're never gonna miss that penny. Like, it's crazy. But I mean, it's the world that we live today. But I just thought it was interesting that, especially Taylor Swift, who is such a well-known name, is investing any of her money for something like this. But anyways, that's my podcast for this week. You can find my podcast on Spotify and Anchor for right now. I usually try to drop it every Thursday night, but of course this week it was a day late, but that was just cause I was tired yesterday and I just did not feel like talking. But if you have any questions or comments, if you know me personally, go ahead and hit me up, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys next week.